I think momentarily we are done with the roller coaster of temperatures of constantly going up from like 60s to 70s, dropping back down into the 40s. Temperatures relatively going to stay a little bit steady, at least as we head in throughout much of the work week. We'll go with some 60s and even to some 70s. We'll have a cold front into the middle of the week, but it's not really going to do much in terms of temperatures. But we are just, though, keeping an eye, maybe heading on to the weekend. We may be able to get a stronger cold front to come in. But this pattern, though, it certainly is going to be stubborn as we head in throughout much of the work week. Warm and dry conditions will persist off into the west. We are kind of into that near middle ground where we'll be able to have influence of what we call clipper systems that will be able to come in. With that, it'll bring more of that kind of colder conditions, even some stormy conditions to further south with some wintry precipitation the further north that you go, in which right now we do have our first clipper system that is going up into near areas of Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia, bringing some snow showers up into near the Smokies with around 38 degrees in Bristol, 4 degrees into Bismarck, around 38 here back at home into Midland. Right now, conditions across the Lone Star State rather nice and calm. We have the surface area higher pressure, bringing those northerly winds well off into the east of us, where we have a bit more calm and variable winds here back at home. But those winds will be able to turn southerly as we go throughout much of the day, bringing in a bit of a breeze at time around 10 to 20 miles an hour. We'll be able to warm up as we go throughout much of our Monday, as well on our Tuesday, as we'll be able to see one of those clipper systems that will be able to bring our first cold front as we head, I think, around into Wednesday morning into the afternoon hours. I think it's going to bring just maybe a slight drop in temperatures, maybe 5 to 7 degree temperature drop, but it will bring at least some breezier conditions coming in from the north, could be gusting up to 30 miles per hour at times, so in which realistically not too much of colder air is at least present north of us, hence why we're not really getting too much into those significantly colder conditions on Wednesday. But that will be able to lift up as a warm front as we head into Thursday, and I think Thursday is going to be kind of the pick of the week if you are a fan of the heat. A lot more of us will be into the low to middle 70s, even some near 80s, especially the further south that you go. But we'll be rather breezy again, thanks to our next second clipper system that will be affecting us to bring in some cooler conditions possibly as we head into the weekend, which right now the timing is still a bit uncertain. The temperatures and going a bit fluctuating, but we may be able to work with some 50s and 60s as we head into the weekend. And some models are going even some upper 40s, but right now I'm taking that conservative route and going with some 60s. But as we go throughout much of the week, we do have a small roller coaster, but really it is staying rather steady with 60s and 70s throughout much of the work week. But right now, walking out into the tall city, taking a look at downtown Midland this morning, we are currently around 38 degrees with a southwesterly breeze. We're going around 5 miles an hour. We should be able to warm up quite nicely as we go throughout much of the day. Temperatures, though, into near areas of Fort Davis and Marfa, it's going to take a little bit before we get there. 26 in Fort Davis with 22 degrees in Marfa this morning. That is quite chilly, with around 32 in Coleman, 33 in Abilene, and 30 off into Cristobal. So for those kiddos heading out to the bus stop, they are going to need the jacket, but I think they can lose it by the time we head into that recess hour, hitting around 66 for a daytime high into Midland, 65 off into Odessa, with 70 in Balmorhea, with 62 in Abilene, and 64 off into San Angelo. As we head into the next 7, we'll be able to warm up on Tuesday with a brief cool down heading into Wednesday that will be able to bring some breezier conditions. I think Wednesday might be the breeziest day of the week, as we'll pick up a breeze as well on Thursday, rebounding back into some 70s, but I think San Angelo will be able to reach 70 on Friday. Abilene will get some of those cooler conditions from that cold front that will be able to come in. That will also be rather breezy with increasing clouds with a bit of that pattern change as we head into the weekend.